Life Fair here in Stonehill. Thank you for coming. We hope you're excited. My name is Cammie McMorrow. I'm with Northeastern Savings Bank. We're one of the sponsors. There are several sponsors of the fair. There are also 80 volunteers here from over 40 businesses in the community volunteering their time to run this fair. So we hope that you're going to have fun and enjoy it. So right now I'm going to introduce Mr. Paul. He's your principal of Oliver Ames High School.
Guys, thank you so much for coming here and enjoying an opportunity that I think you'll find a great deal of value as you move on from here. I was sharing earlier the whole concept of a missed opportunity for generations of students in high school to have a credit understanding before they leave high school and go off to college. Gone are the days where I could take a chalkboard back when I was a teacher and talk to students about the realities of money and how much rent is going to cost, insurance, their car payments, whether they want to have cable TV. And at the end of the day, we look at the blackboard and they say, well, that doesn't equate with my monthly salary. And I say, yeah, what does that tell you? And they say, well, it means I'm going to move in with my mom. And my answer to that is no, that's not what that tells you. That tells you that staying in school and pursuing an education and making sure that you give yourself every opportunity to be able to afford the lifestyle that you choose. Today is about choices, it's about reality check, and it's about you taking it seriously. And I want to say thank you ahead of time for giving your respect and your attention to everyone here. I would like to give a couple of special thank yous to people who were involved with setting this up. First and foremost, having had some experience with the possibility of a credit fair at high school, the first person that I sought out at the high school in trying to make this a reality was Mrs. Sweeney. So if you could please congratulate Mrs. Sweeney on helping put this together. And then a couple of them report our key sponsor for this evening, for this day, is Northeastern Savings Bank. And two people who are connected with Northeastern Savings Bank worked with Mrs. Sweeney exclusively, and they are Cammie McMorrow, who was just up here, and Courtney Palm. So if you could give them a round of applause. And then last but not least, all of our vendors, and I told you this at the auditorium before we left, have given of their time and their talents to help you out. This is a gift that they are giving to you. I would ask that you are appreciative of that gift, and please ask intelligent and thoughtful questions as you go around and be respectful of their time and their gift to you. And the other sponsors that we have here that are part of making this happen is certainly Stonehill College. Stonehill College provided a facility for us today, so please give them a round of applause. And then other organizations in town that were sponsors, major sponsors for today are the Bank of Easton, Harbor One Bank, and Mansfield Bank, and the New England Carpet and Flooring Company. So those organizations stepped up big time for us as well. Without taking any more time, before I get the hook, I would like to introduce our next speaker, a very important person for us in the Easton community, new to Easton Public Schools about 2 years ago, our superintendent of schools, who was a principal for many years. Please welcome and give a round of applause to Dr. Andrew Keogh.
Yes, I am the snow day guy. Well, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I did my best. Only 2 this year. So it's an honor to be joining you here at Stonehill College for OA's first ever Credit for Life event. I'd like to thank Ms. Susan Sweeney, Mr. Paul, and our partners at Northeastern Savings Bank and Stonehill College and the Harbor One and Easton Bank for Savings. I know there's another one that I'm missing. These people have gone out of their way to make this happen for you. When I first heard this was being developed, I have to admit, I felt a range of emotions. First, I was excited that Oliver Ames High School was taking such a proactive stance on educating young people on the dangers of credit abuse. I also felt a bit jealous that these opportunities were not afforded to my generation, and as a result, we made many mistakes with our own credit development. Finally, I felt a bit of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, having had a terrible experience in my mid-20s with a challenging credit situation. Actually, it was my wife's credit situation. She's given me permission to tell you the story in the hopes you won't make the same mistake. Basically, we got married in 1988, and we're really excited to start living on our own. You know, you don't get these opportunities that often. We're going to break out on our own on this grand adventure. We had our own place. We're going to pool our earnings, share bank accounts, pay our bills as a team. It was perfect. And all about trust. A few months into the adventure, however, we started receiving these very formal-looking letters addressed to my wife only. They all had the same return address and some company that I didn't recognize. My wife just stuffed them in a basket that hung from the wall and never opened them. I still remember that basket hanging in the kitchen, overflowing with envelopes, and wondering, like, what are these things? So finally I said to her, what are those letters that you keep stuffing in the basket? Oh, with a pause, she'd say, those aren't anything, don't worry about it. Finally, after another month or two, I said, I'm feeling a little freaked out there. Those letters, are you going to tell me what they're all about? I'm wondering if you're like getting sued or something. And after attempting to stick to her story for as long as she could, she eventually broke down in tears and said, they're my student loans. So we opened them up and learned that she had $10,000 worth of loans, which in the 1980s is a lot of money. And she was just ignoring them. She didn't know how to go about paying them back. She didn't know how to set up the repayment. It was that simple. Just didn't know how to set up the repayment plan or call someone to do it, so she just forgot about it. Needless to say, they didn't go away. It did a number on my wife's credit, and we ended up borrowing the money to make it work from my in-laws. So I tell you this story because I don't think it's unique. People do this all the time. They charge up a big bill, and then they hope by some remote chance the company that loaned them the money is going to forget about it. So think about that. Okay? These are bankers and financial experts. They don't forget who owes them money. That never happens. Okay? So as you go through this experience today, I hope you'll remember what you learned and be wise about your decisions around financial management in the future. They're lessons you'll never regret learning. So I wish you the very best and hope you enjoy the day. And before we move forward, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to a distinguished guest who'd like to briefly address you. Heather Heerman currently serves as the Chief of Staff at Stonehill College. She began this past summer and advises the President, ensuring key strategic priorities are achieved by collaborating closely with senior leadership and the community as a whole. Heather's career in higher education began at Stonehill College in 2001 as internship coordinator in the Office of Career Services. From there, her responsibilities increased and she spent 10 years as the Director of Career Services. In this role, she ensured students were prepared for their post-graduation goals while working with employers and alumni to build a strong recruiting and internship program at the college. Heather graduated from Stonehill College in 1996 with a BA in English and holds an MED in education from Bridgewater State University. So I'd like to introduce to you Heather Heerman.
Good morning, everyone. That's pretty good. Try it one more time. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stonehill. It's Tigers, right? Yes? All right, go Tigers. Thank you, Dr. Keogh. Good morning to you, Mr. Paul, Mr. Colton, Ms. Nestler, Ms. McMorrow, Ms. Palm, Mrs. Sweeney, and of course, all of the students here from Oliver Ames. I'm sure I forgot someone, but welcome to everyone here today. On behalf of the Stonehill community, I'd like to welcome you to our campus for this important event. Financial literacy is critically important, and while the name may not sound all that fun or glamorous at this point in your life, living within your means is something that you will continue to hear about not only today, but on an ongoing basis. Before you know it, you'll have your first professional job offer that will ask you to make decisions about your retirement contributions. In working in career services here at Stonehill, I was grateful to advise many of our students on negotiating their first job offer out of college. I can also share with you firsthand, we couldn't emphasize enough the importance of contributing to your retirement at age 22 versus waiting until age 42. You may want to finish paying off those student loans that Dr. Keogh talked about, or paying off a car, or any other debt that you may incur. And for those of you that like Excel, I'm not one English major, but for those of you that do like Excel, take a look at how your money grows over those 20 years. You'll be amazed and won't miss the money if you start saving now. It's my hope that you go through today with an open mind and learn from the many talented people and organizations who will help you today create budgets, talk to you about credit scores, entice you with some pretty awesome trips and cars, and so many other aspects of personal finance. Have fun exploring the challenges and complexities of financial literacy. I wish you all well, and thank you for having this event here at Stonehill College. We're delighted to welcome you to campus. Enjoy your day. Go Tigers.
Thank you. Me again. Okay, so we are ready to begin the day. As I mentioned to you back at school, the sticker in the right hand corner of your spending plan will tell you where you are going to begin. Remember that you cannot go to credit and lending or insurance before you go to transportation. You can visit Reality Check, which is in the center over there, as often as you want. Does anybody have any questions before we begin? Okay, so we're going to start with Miss Burns' group and Mrs. Almeida's group. You can head over.
So this event today was, it's called a credit fair, a credit for life fair, and the opportunity for our students to learn a little bit more about what it means to manage their money. I think there's about 25 states that are currently engaged in teaching our students at the high school level a little bit more about credit and credit history and the whole concept of building an understanding of your assets and your liabilities. So this opportunity for our students to come here to a credit fair is something that I jumped on when I saw a couple of schools in the area doing it, and we partnered with Northeastern Savings Bank, and I tapped Sue Sweeney, our business teacher, on the shoulder and said, "Sue, would you like to do something like this?" She's jumped on it, and we were able to put this together thanks to Stonehill College giving us the facility and a number of sponsors in the community, and certainly all the businesses in town and neighboring towns that came together to provide our students this opportunity. And in essence, what they're doing is they're picking a career. They're being given a basic salary for that career and being shown what happens with deductions, and then they are able to have a gross monthly salary, a net monthly salary, and begin the process of figuring out housing, transportation, insurance, financing, whether or not they're going to get a credit card, what's the difference between good credit and bad credit. So it's certainly something that I personally wish I had had the exposure to when I was in high school. I learned a lot on the fly and probably did a lot of learning that wasn't book learning. It was really an opportunity to fall flat on my face and then pick myself up and figure out I shouldn't do that again.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Heather Heerman. I'm the Chief of Staff here at Stonehill College and also an alum. I want to welcome all of the juniors from Oliver Ames here today for the first annual Credit for Life Fair. What an amazing opportunity for them, as well as for Stonehill to be able to host high school students here. We try to do that as often as we can to invite our students here for these types of events, as well as for summer camps, whether it's PCC or our Summer at Stonehill pre-college program this summer. It's a wonderful opportunity, wonderful partnership, and we certainly welcome these students here today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cammie McMorrow with Northeastern Savings Bank. I'm the Mortgage Operations Manager there and one of the organizers of the first annual Credit for Life Fair here in Easton for the 300 juniors in the class at Oliver Ames High School. This is the first fair here in Easton, but one of many that are performed over the country, with the longest running fair actually in Brockton, right next door. So it's a great event for students. It's a simulation for the students to go through as if they are real life working students with a profession, and they get to make transactions and purchases as if they would in real life. It's a great, safe environment for the students to learn.
I think it's been a really good experience. Like, coming into this, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. I've never really been in a situation like this where I've had to figure out what my income would be and how I would actually meet deadlines and really make ends meet. But it's been really interesting, where I've gone to the housing portion so far, I've gotten furniture, I've gone to transportation, credit and lending, and it's really interesting to see how the costs really do add up more than you think. And how for example, I just purchased a car, a Nissan Altima 2010, and I thought that my monthly payment was going to be my only cost. But then it turns out that I had to take out a big loan for it, and then there's even more costs associated with that. So I think that it's really interesting and eye-opening for the fact that there's more costs than you'd ever imagine when you're just a high school kid who has their parents paying for you. And it's really interesting. I think it's a really good experience.
So when we got here, we got our clipboards with our description of our job and payment, and we've been walking around and visiting different stations, and they've been teaching us what exactly the costs are and how much that's going to affect us per month. And it's been really interesting, and it really shows you how practical this is and how much goes into spending.
It's pretty cool, actually. A lot of stuff I didn't know was going to be the way it is. I chose doctor, so I'm making like $4,500 a month or something like that, but I didn't know my taxes were going to be so high, and I didn't know that my student loans are going to be so high, and I have to currently buy a mattress, which is going to be a lot more money than I thought it was.
It's been great. It's been very realistic, and it's good to open our eyes to what we're going to be living like in 6 or 7 years.